I would want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to today's exciting video. There are 13.70 million wild boars and coyotes in the United States, and they are wreaking havoc on farms. What are the keys to successfully safeguarding the crops? Leave your answer in the comments below, and let's have a conversation about it right now. They are able to enter both urban and rural regions because of their horrifying adaptability, which allows them to spread across the states in numbers exceeding 7 million. The coyotes are the silent killers of the United States. The majority of the time, they are active throughout the night, and their attacks strike fear into the minds of those who are engaged in combat. Aside from the fact that they result in significant losses of cattle, they also constitute a risk to the supply chain of agricultural products. The coyote is not like other wild animals since it is difficult to trace. It is extremely intelligent, and it is frequently well-trained. They are shrewd soldiers who stay hidden in the shadows. You may believe that this is the conclusion of the story, but we would like to introduce you to our second boss, which is the wild boar. It is unavoidable that the storm will grunt as it moves forward. This beast, which is a hybrid descendant of wild boars and domestic animals, is spreading their dominance over more than 6.70 million people. In the span of a single night, they are capable of transforming an entire field into a hazardous environment, resulting in the loss of almost 2.50 billion lives. Wild boars are not only responsible for the destruction of crops, but they also carry diseases with them, making them a danger to both people and cattle. Pigs are able to thrive in any environment, from the depths of the forest to the outskirts of residential areas, and a single female can give birth to as many as 30 piglets in a single year. While coyotes may be shrewd, wild boars are unrelenting monsters that do not have a switch that allows them to stop. And when these two forces come into conflict with one another, it's like a real-life survival drama, with the farmers playing the supporting roles and these two wild titans taking the lead. As a result of this beast alliance, which includes sly coyotes on one side and hyperactive wild boars on the other, American farmers are no longer considered to be merely agricultural laborers. They have evolved into modern-day warriors for the sake of protecting their crops while fighting off attackers with 4 legs. Farmlands have been transformed into battlefields. During the times of day when wild boars and coyotes are most active, hunts are conducted either at dawn or late at night. As they spread out across the fields, the hunting squad is armed with an old pickup truck, a few solid guns, and floodlights that are as brilliant as a stadium. There is no silence. The dogs must not bark. All that could be heard was the sound of the wind sweeping through the night. There is no prior warning before the wild boars arrive. There is no signal. A herd suddenly materializes in front of them at that very moment. Wham! The initial shot reverberates. There is a hefty and still descent of one. Panic ensues among the remaining individuals, who disperse in every direction as additional gunfire follows in fast bursts. It's not quite as exciting as what you see in the movies, but the outcomes? There is no denying its effectiveness. Every single one of the wild boars is eliminated one by one. Each one results in a reduction of damage costs of hundreds of dollars. What about the farmers? They proceed with their plan, resolute to eliminate each and every one of them. Can you tell me what occurs after this? Please leave a remark below and come along with me as we go on to the next segment of the movie. There is no comparison between hunting wild boars and hunting coyotes. A 4-legged tank is rolling through the fields, but there is no noise, no pandemonium, and no fields that have been torn up. This is a war of patience, and the winner is not the person who can pull the trigger the quickest. Rather, it is the person who is able to wait for the right thing to happen. Coyotes, in contrast to boars, which tend to move in herds, are more likely to act alone. These individuals are cautious, quiet, and incredibly intelligent. They disappear with nothing more than a peculiar odor or a solitary footprint left by a human. It is customary for the hunt to start at dusk. A small number of experienced farmers established modest shelters close to the livestock pens, which were the locations where coyote tracks had been observed the previous evening. They remain motionless as they wait, holding weapons in their hands and keeping their gaze fixed on the screens of infrared cameras. The display flickers, and then it shows a dim glow, which appears to be the eyes of a coyote glinting in the bushes. There is no howling. There were no footsteps. The stillness is so thick that it threatens to suffocate everything. One single shot, which is both clean and accurate. The quest comes to an end after several hours of tense ambush. After that, the predator is unable to move from its position. As we move away from the fields, it is time to take a more in-depth look at the cattle sector, which serves as the economic foundation for a great number of farms located all throughout the United States. Across the United States, the majority of cattle farming is centered in the central and southern states, including Texas, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. These states are well known for their expansive land expanses, climates that are favorable for livestock raising, and a long-standing heritage of livestock raising. Over 90 million cattle are currently in the United States, with more than 30 million of those cattle being grown exclusively for the production of beef. In the United States of America, cattle ranches normally run according to two primary systems: concentrated feedlot operations and free-range grazing procedures. Cattle in areas like Texas and Montana, which have huge grasslands, are let to wander freely over hundreds of hectares, where they can graze and drink from ponds and water sources that have been strategically placed. When compared to smaller-scale operations, larger-scale operations utilize controlled feedlots. These feedlots are sophisticated facilities that are equipped with automated feeding troughs, watering systems, misting for cooling, and advanced waste management. No matter the approach, every farm places a significant amount of importance on hygiene, nutrition, and health monitoring in order to guarantee the quality of the meat and dairy products produced, as well as the productivity over the long term. One of the most important foundations of agriculture in the United States is this. From a scientific standpoint, the diet of cattle that are raised on American farms is designed differently depending on whether they are being raised for the production of meat or milk. It is recommended that beef cattle consume dry hay, straw, silage, and grains like maize, barley, or soybeans as their primary source of nutrition in order to facilitate a rapid and consistent increase in weight. Cows that are used for dairy production, on the other hand, consume a diet that is higher in nutrients and is supplemented with minerals, vitamins, and occasionally digestive enzymes in order to maintain a steady milk supply. Within the context of concentrated feedlot operations, feed is mixed in accordance with particular formulas and then distributed by specialized vehicles at predetermined times throughout the day. For the most part, cattle in free-range grazing systems are allowed to graze on pasture, and they are given supplemental feed in the evening to ensure that they consume an adequate amount of energy. Providing cattle with the appropriate food not only helps to maintain their health, but also has a direct impact on the quality of the meat and milk that they produce. In the United States, beef cattle are normally reared for around 18 to 24 months before reaching the level of weight that is considered appropriate for processing. Calves are given fresh grass and milk from their mothers throughout the first 6 to 8 months of their lives in order to promote proper digestive development. This is done at the early stage of their growth. After that, they are switched to a diet that consists of a combination of grains and forage in order to encourage quick growth. After reaching a goal weight of 1,200 to 1,400 pounds, cattle are placed in specialized feedlots during the final stage, which is referred to as the finishing phase. This occurs before the cattle are processed. By going through this process, the beef is guaranteed to be of a high grade and to have a proportion of fat to lean meat that is completely balanced. In order to guarantee the quality of the meat and the safety of the food, cattle are transported to processing plants in accordance with a rigid process. Initially, in order to alleviate the stress that the cattle are experiencing, they are transported from the farm to the facility by means of specialized vehicles that are fitted with ventilation and temperature control systems. In order to ensure that there are no indications of illness, animals are subjected to health exams before being transported. In order to alleviate the stress that the cattle experience as a result of transportation, they are given the opportunity to rest in holding areas once they arrive at the factory. Before the animals are allowed to enter the processing facility, the workers in the veterinary department perform a final health inspection to ensure that they are in the best possible condition. Beginning with the treatment of the animals in accordance with stringent food safety regulations, the processing begins. The workers perform cleaning and handling operations, removing any sections of the meat that are not useful in order to guarantee that the meat is of the greatest possible quality. Following this step, the beef is graded according to its quality and then sliced into a variety of cuts, such as tenderloin, brisket, or rib segments. Following this, the meat is cooled at the appropriate temperature in order to prevent the growth of microorganisms. Before being supplied to supermarkets, the penultimate phase is followed by the packing and storage of the product. The beef is then taken to the processing stage, where it is transformed into a wide range of high-value food products after being sorted and subjected to quality inspections. In the preparation of steaks, beefsteak, barbecue-style grilled beef, or high-end vegetable dishes, premium cuts of beef such as ribeye, short ribs, or tenderloin are frequently utilized. Steaks, cold cuts, beef stew, beef bourguignon, and canned beef are some of the other products that can be made from other cuts of cattle. Not only does each dish keep its nutritional value, but it also improves its commercial appeal, making it suitable for a wide range of restaurants around the world, from those that serve meals for families to those that offer fine dining. In spite of the fact that it is a laborious and dangerous occupation, lobster fishing is a career that is packed with drama and excitement. In general, the lobster season encompasses the months of May through November. In preparation for the busy season, fishermen from coastal places such as Maine and Massachusetts tend to congregate. Ahead of daybreak, they are required to have their boats ready, prepared to embark on a journey that is packed with exciting experiences. And crucial piece of equipment and lobster traps are prepared by the team. Because the duration of each journey can range anywhere from a few days to a week before they return to shore, they diligently prepare for it. It is important to prepare thoroughly in order to ensure the catch's safety and effectiveness. We perform a comprehensive inspection of each trap to guarantee that it is safe and that it is rigged with alluring bait in order to attract lobsters. However, the reward of collecting gigantic lobsters makes all of this effort worthwhile, despite the fact that these journeys take guts and commitment. At depths of 100 feet, enormous lobsters that can grow to be as long as 4 feet find a safe haven. For the purpose of conquering the ocean, fishermen equip themselves with specialist diving gear when the sea is calm. These enormous lobsters are able to conceal themselves in rocky crevices and coral reefs at an appropriate distance. It may take fishermen more than an hour to lower themselves underwater in order to capture them. The payoff, on the other hand, is frequently massive lobsters of amazing size. Using specialized traps that are meant to entice lobsters to enter, fishermen are able to capture them. The bait, which is typically fresh meat, is placed within the traps in order to garner the attention of the lobsters. In order to catch lobsters, these traps are then lowered into the ocean at depths ranging from 30 to 60 feet, which is the typical location for lobsters. A normal fishing expedition will require setting anywhere from 20 to 30 traps. The fishermen will bring out the traps after approximately 24 to 48 hours, and each haul may yield anything from 10 to 20 lobsters. For the purpose of safeguarding lobster resources, more than 400 fishermen in Maine have made a commitment. As a result, any lobsters that are lower than the minimum size restriction, or females that carry eggs, must be returned to the ocean. It is possible for the traps to catch crabs and a variety of fish in addition to lobsters, which would provide the crew with additional food for their meals.